Hello and welcome to another video tutorial on understanding body language, liars, cheats and happy feet. Okay, so this evening I've got a video done by Lady Gaga not so long ago on the View TV chat show in America, being interviewed by Whoopi Goldberg, the lady from Ghost, and the rest of the panel. So obviously we don't get this show in America, so I've had to YouTube the clip as per normal. And she's talking about herself, and she's talking about Amy Winehouse. So I thought this would be a good video to analyse. So let's start the video at the beginning, and let's see what we can spot from Lady Gaga.
I wanted to ask you because, you know, Amy Winehouse passed about a week ago now, I guess it is. She's 27,
okay, yeah, so we all know about Amy Winehouse.
You know,
let's see Lady Gaga's reaction.
Your thoughts on the passing of somebody with such amazing talent?
I'm just so devastated and so sad. And I really couldn't speak for like 48 hours straight. I was in such shock. And, you know, I just think the most unfortunate thing about it all is
right, yeah,
the way that the media spins things, like, oh...
Okay, right, yeah, so before we go any further, I've done a video tutorial on Lady Gaga before today, when she had an interview with Jimmy Kimmel on American television, and we discussed about her facial expressions, about how she doesn't express any emotions on her face whatsoever. Now then, we discussed that it can come with potential plastic surgery in the face, it can come with a strong antidepressant elongating and promoting something called muscular atrophy, or actually I work in the health field. But one thing we didn't really cover is Botox treatment, which paralyzes facial muscles and stops them engaging. So, Amy Winehouse, I beg your pardon, Lady Gaga was talking about Amy Winehouse here, about how she's very sad. However, what I'm going to do, I'm going to scoot back to about maybe here. And I'm just going to put that. And then what I'm going to do now is I've got a piece of paper. And then what I'm going to do with Lady Gaga,
I'm just so devastated.
I'm going to put that there, and we're just going to look at her eyes.
For like 48 hours straight. I was
so
in such shock.
if we turn the music off and we just looked at her eyes,
the thing about it all is the way that the media
you would have no idea
like, oh,
she was talking about something sad.
I don't feel that.
So we're seeing nothing on the upper forehead. We're seeing nothing around the eyes, and certainly, obviously, I covered the cheekbones. But obviously, with sadness, we see it sometimes. We see the crinkling of the nose, and we're really, really upset and sad. Again, you don't need to be qualified in body language like myself to understand the facial expression of sadness and grief. You would know it anyway. You'd know it instinctively because you'll have seen it on other people and you know it from yourself. But but Lady Gaga doesn't show that particular expression on her face, so there must be a reason for that.
Since I felt that the lesson was for the world to be kinder to the superstar. You know, everybody was so hard on her, and everything that I knew about her was that she was the most lovely and nice and kind woman.
Okay,
so
a lot of people blamed her for her addiction. Yes, right. Which is stupid because...
One thing that is noticing for me is if you look at Whoopi Goldberg, I'll try and pause it.
But he was so hard on her, and...
Let's just see if I can pause it.
Everything that I knew about her was that she was the most lovely and nice and kind woman. So
a lot of people blamed her for her addiction.
Yes.
There we go. If we notice about Whoopi Goldberg, she does the same thing. She rests her glasses on her nose and she looks down over her glasses like she's looking down her nose to people. Now that is classic Whoopi Goldberg, but it's very intimidating. Imagine if you cast your mind back to when you were at school, there was one teacher who would have dropped the head down and lifted their eyes above the glasses. It's a classic defensive gesture, and it's very rude in some respect as well. Now, Whoopi Goldberg might have problems with her eyes. That's maybe why she does it. But in this respect here, that can be a quite intimidating pose between the interviewee and the interviewer.
Which is stupid because addictions are serious issues and it's diseased.
It is, yeah. And also, I read that she actually, the reason for her death was because she stopped cold turkey and her body couldn't handle.
Okay, right, yeah, let's just speak about that's not been confirmed yet. The toxicology report from Amy Winehouse hasn't come out yet. That takes forever and a day to do. It takes around about 4 to 5 weeks to establish the cause of death. So that at the minute is just hearsay. Obviously, that is probably the likely the cause. It'll be related to some alcohol or drink related problem of abuse over the years. But what Lady Gaga said there has not been confirmed at this stage. So let's keep going.
Issues and it's diseased.
It is, yeah. And also, I read that she actually, the reason for her death was because she stopped cold turkey and her body couldn't handle.
Is that what they said?
Yes, and
You know, it also said she was 27, you're 25. And enormous fame, and you have enormous fame.
Okay, for some reason, Lady Gaga, if you pick up on her body language when this lady's talking, just watch her reaction to when this lady starts. I think this lady here, I don't watch this show, I think she might be the one who's the most argumentative, or the one who causes most trouble, or asks the most difficult questions. But watch Lady Gaga's reaction here.
It also said she was 27, you're 25.
Watch her reaction here.
And enormous fame, and you have enormous fame.
Look at that.
It said that she
Almost like massive contempt, like, why the hell are you talking to me? So I think there must be a problem here, and we can see the eye glare. I mean, this video isn't very clear, it's not in high def, but you can definitely see the eye glare that Gaga's giving this lady here.
With the addiction, she struggled with the fame. This kind of fame is very hard to handle. You have. How come?
well, it's a very lonely life. But I think that that's part of...
But again, her facial expressions are so mono. It's crazy. We see no wrinkling of the face. We see nothing apart from eyes and mouth movement. And that's all we see from Lady Gaga.
What we love about her. You know, you can't have it both ways. You can't enjoy listening to someone sing
Obviously, we
sad
see a
songs.
lot of head shakes and head movements, but we're talking about the face and predominantly micro expressions. So fleeting expressions of the face of emotion. Sometimes it can be as fast as 1/15 of a second. We don't see anything like that from Lady Gaga.
The blues and heartbreak, and then not expect them to be truly heartbroken and expect something different out of
sad
them.
songs.
Sure, I do. And sometimes I'm very sad, just like everybody watching at home, and sometimes I'm happy.
Beyonce was on the other day. And
Queen Bee.
The Queen. And
Now look at that anger expression there, and look at the teapot stance we've got there. When do we do the teapot stance? Remember when, think back to when you were at school and you saw a girl just about to be told off. She'll put her hands on there. It's a classic negative gesture when we're talking about someone or hearing something we don't like.
And sometimes I'm very
And look at the
sad.
sarcastic Queen Bee and look
Like
at that
everybody
eye
watching
movement.
At home, and sometimes I'm happy.
Beyonce was on the other day. And
Queen Bee.
The Queen. And
There you go. Look at that expression there. We've got the faker smile with a sin from Lady Gaga. Let's watch it again.
And sometimes I'm very sad, just like everybody watching at home, and sometimes I'm happy.
Beyonce was on
There we
the
go.
other day. And
Queen Bee.
The Queen.
There we go. There we go.
Saying that she took a year off from her career because she wanted to go to the
So the good thing about when we don't like people is we'll always try and disagree with what that person's doing. It's quite it's a classic psychological response. Let's say, for instance, I didn't like Lewis Hamilton, for instance, and he just bought a Ferrari, and then somebody asks me, "Oh, do you like Ferraris?" I'll instinctively say no because I don't want to be seen to be liking what he likes because I don't like him.
she wanted to go to this museum and
Here we go.
see Capri.
Let's have a look at
See
this.
the world, so she took a whole year off. What do you think about that?
I'm actually completely opposite.
There you go. Okay, so we've got clusters there. We've got a hands on the hip teapot stance, classic defensive cluster. We've got a fake smile, a little bit of anger coming as well. But again, Lady Gaga's face is quite difficult to read, and we've got a disagreement with what Beyonce does. So there's definitely there potentially a problem. I don't know if there's problems between these two. I've not researched it. I just read what's in front of me here. So that's very interesting.
I woke up at 5 in the morning to go to Queens to go watch a race. People were running a half marathon, and I wanted to see them race, and
that's good.
so I went there, and I went to a bar later with some friends and just had a couple of beers in the middle of nowhere. I think I want to see less of the world. I kind of just want to be with my friends, and I stay really, really close to the people that I've always
These are all fine.
with me. Yeah.
Then why do you say it's a lonely life?
So I'm going to just pause it there. I want to scoot forward because I'm running out of time slightly. I just want to get to the bit where this lady in red
I think maybe
asks
Joanne
Gaga a
should
really
have
difficult
people,
question. Yeah, I've still got a classic arm barrier there, defensive cluster. We don't need to read that. I think this is the bit where this argumentative woman here, I don't know her name.
Gaga, I don't think that we can just throw away her terrible addictions. And you've talked openly about the fact that you did cocaine. You talked about it just recently in a television show.
Man. Imagine now, this lady, these two have obviously got a problem we can see in the first half of the video, and now this lady just asked Lady Gaga about her cocaine addiction from years ago on live TV. Bearing in mind, Lady Gaga's idolised by millions of fans. Again, signs of weakness with your heroes, it ain't good, so let's see what Gaga's reaction is here.
You did cocaine. You talked about it just recently in a television show.
Yeah, I used to do hard drugs.
And you did hard drugs, and you drank, or you drink. How did you get it? The easiest thing to do is to just keep doing it. The hard thing is to do what you did.
Well, I was so embarrassed. You know, my dad sort of called me out about it one day.
Okay, let me pause it right there. That is a great response from Lady Gaga. Embarrassment and almost being ashamed about it. If you look at the Charlie Sheen video I've just done where he's talking about his drugs, you see about proud coming in and how proud he is that he's accomplished that. We see the exact opposite here from Lady Gaga. We're seeing embarrassment.
So I stopped. I don't do any hard drugs anymore. I'm a little part of the Green Club sometimes.
And what we've got here is, look how she starts fondling and playing with her bag. Okay, so we're trying. It's a classic barrier pose. It's also a classic pacifier. We've got to use something to keep the hands busy.
I stopped. I don't do any hard drugs anymore.
It's a classic sign of anxiety.
I'm part of the Green Club sometimes.
What did your father? How did he do
that? So not how, the only time she starts playing with additional aids and additional props is when she's talking about something that she's potentially embarrassed about and needs that security. So just look at that gesture there. And she just talked about something called the Green Club. I don't know whether that's slang for marijuana or cannabis, or the Green Club means you're straight and clean. I have no idea. So draw your own conclusions to that.
What did your father do? That's instructive.
My dad was like, you know, I know what you're doing, and just so you know, I did it, and I lost every friend and everything that I ever had while I did it. He shared with me his life story and his struggle.
Good.
So that was what ultimately changed my life. And
brilliant. Okay, so I'm just going to run through the very last part of this video here when we get to see Lady Gaga in the flesh again. I just want to run through the facial expressions again. Okay, right, so let's just scoot forward a slight touch so we can get
that when we have the fabulous Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga, here we go.
I really couldn't speak for like 48 hours.
There we go. So let me just scoot back slightly so we get that. Okay, so again, let me just recap what I'm saying about facial expressions. We've got 43 muscles of the face here, capable of creating anatomically around about 10,000 different facial expressions, and that comes from Dr. Paul Ekman in his book Telling Lies. So around about 10,000 different facial expressions we can all make. Some are universal, called micro-expressions. We've got 7 universal micro-expressions that we flash, and these all happen by each individual muscle working together to create an emotion that we all recognise. So our facial expressions are the closest thing we have all got to a universal language. But with the thing about facial expressions is, if you look at Lady Gaga, again, it's just eyes and mouth all the time with Lady Gaga, which is very strange. I would need to see some videos of her when she was a child and when she was growing up through her teens to see if she's engaging those muscles, or potentially that's just how her facial structure is. Maybe she doesn't show emotions on the face like we all do. So there we go. So that's another video analysis done by myself, CJB. I like Lady Gaga. I love her music. So does my missus. I think this interview is a damn sight better than the one she did with Jimmy Kimmel, where she had a real nightmare with her. Her body language in this is better. She does show sadness, I think, when she talks about Amy Winehouse, even though she doesn't show it on her face. So if you'd like to learn more about body language, if you'd like to join my page called Understanding Body Language, Liars, Cheats and Happy Feet, just type that into Facebook, or if you want, on the video below there's a little link that says www.facebook.com/CJBax. Just click that. That's a link to my body language page. Come and say hey, and then I do all these videos. I put them on there as well. So there you go. So from everyone here, Understanding Body Language, Liars, Cheats and Happy Feet, I hope you enjoyed that analysis on body language. Any comments or feedback, please leave me a message. So take care and bye-bye for now. And I shall get back to watching Come Down With Me. So take care and bye-bye for now.